One more second. All right, this meeting is live to the public.
Okay. I would like to call the meeting of the Havre de Grace Independence Day Commission to order on January 24th. And I would like to ask our secretary to do a roll call, please.
Sure. Christina Bracknell,
Here.
Mike Bracknell,
Here.
Nikki Fournier here. Steve Gamatoria Jr. I have as absent excused. Taryn Martin.
Here.
Christy Silverstein.
Here.
And Taryn Van Heerden and Carolyn Zinner, I have both as absent and excused.
So I'd like to make a correction for Taryn Van Heerden. She has actually resigned from the commission. So she is no longer part of our roll call. We'll move on to the next agenda item, approval of previous meeting minutes.
We did not meet in December, so we do not have any minutes to approve.
Lovely. We'll move on to report of officers and committee. Treasurer's report. Steve sent that to email. And does anyone have a copy right there? They can give us our balance.
I can read that off. So
Okay.
the treasurer's report for December, beginning balance $99,681.28. Total income month to date, $195. Total expenses month to date, $61.81. Ending balance for December, $99,814.47. Do we want to go ahead and approve this?
Yes.
So moved.
And I'll second. I'm sorry, Christina, was that you?
No.
I
Sorry.
think it was Taryn. Mhm.
Sorry, I can only look at the minutes or all your lovely faces. I have to pick. Okay, and I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So that's approved unanimously. And for January, beginning balance, $99,814.47. Total income month to date, $760. Total expenses month to date, $617.56, with an ending balance of $99,956.91. So we need a motion to approve.
So moved. That's Christina.
Christina, and second.
Second by Taryn.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's approved unanimously.
Okay. We'll move on to fundraising committee. I think Taryn has reports for that.
Sure. So a couple of updates from fall fundraising activities. The Oyster Feast ticket sales for November, our proceeds from that were $660. And then in December, we obviously had a very successful holiday tree jubilee. The funds going through our Celebrate the Fourth Foundation. Our profit for that was over $5,000. So that was our highest to date. Very successful event there. Christina can talk about January. We were going to have a fundraiser. Christina, you want to talk about that for a minute?
Sure. Yeah. As part of the Celtic Festival, I was going to run a Outlander. And then with the state of emergency and the Omicron and what is going on, I went ahead and chose to postpone it. I don't have a date yet. I'm still trying to an alternative date. I was thinking early March, but I'm just not sure if we're going to be ready yet. So, and I kind of have to coordinate with the state. So I'm eyeing the end of March. That's kind of my new thought. I just want to give time for the numbers to come down and for people to feel comfortable again, because I just don't think that's where we're at right now. I was thinking of doing a couple lead-in events, including a raffle. Could I talk to you about putting in an application for that? Would that be okay? Like, I was thinking about raffling off. I have some Sazerac whiskey, so I'd have to get that approved. Any thoughts on that?
I think it sounds fine. We just have to see if there's anything we need to do legal wise, Taryn.
Well, we have to, for any type of raffle at all, we have to apply for a raffle license.
Right.
It's very simple. That part is a very simple process.
Okay.
I just know that depending on how you do it, Facebook has shut down any type of like raffles online. So
Yeah.
it would have to be a more like an in-person type raffle or ticket selling, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, I know. Cause
especially with
I know when we
optional
did,
raffles.
I know when we did the bourbon raffle last year, we did the live thing on Facebook and they took it down and like we got a warning, Mike and I did. So I mean, I think I was thinking about doing it, you know, like I don't know, I had it written down like maybe $5 a ticket or something and only 100 sold or something like that. Just a short parameters because I had some startup costs for the Outlander that I haven't submitted for because we haven't done the thing. So it's kind of floating out there. But so yeah, I can connect with you guys after that. I mean, even if we do a scaled down version of Outlander, I'd still like to push it through just to do it. But that's where we're at.
I can talk to you offline after the meeting about the
Okay.
raffle license. It's a very simple process.
Yeah, I printed it out at some point, but I just wanted to like talk to you guys about it because I think you can only have so many in an organization per year, and I just didn't want to make sure. I think we're fine because I don't think
Definitely.
but I just wanted to talk to you. And Christy, is it possible? I mentioned this to Taryn, the other Taryn, at one point, but would it be possible to maybe do an event at Joseph's like after hours? Possibly.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I'll talk offline to you guys another after the meeting.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thanks so much.
And then Christy, did you want to talk about spring fundraising or you want me to?
Yes. What do we have coming up in the spring?
So coming up in the spring then, so after whenever you do that, Christina, we would have our two biggest fundraisers, which would be the Defenders Day Festival. City plans are not in place for that yet, but I have been guaranteed that is our, the alcohol sales truck is ours to do again. So that is a hugely successful fundraiser for us and a huge amount of effort. So we're going to need everybody, we're going to need all hands on deck on that one, as well as anybody you can gather to volunteer. So set your calendars. Again, this has not been published yet. This hasn't been set before council yet. But what do we say, Christy? May 7th should be the
May
first Saturday in
7th.
May.
Yeah.
So just
And
kind of pencil that in for yourselves and all your friends right now.
Yeah. See if we really need help that day. Last year it was really tight to get everything that we needed, especially the beer truck people, as well as an area that I saw where we were a little weekend with security, or the people that are going to watch people leaving and not be afraid to say, you got to dump your beer out. So think of your friends and see if we can maybe, everybody recruited like 4 people from their different circles, perhaps we would not feel so tight. And then the carnival, again, Taryn will put all that out for workers. But again, that's a nice thing to get somebody who wants to do a little bit of volunteering, but it's pretty easy. So keep those dates. I don't have the carnival date right here in front of me because it's in my other.
It's
June
12th to June 12th to 16th or June. I mean, hold on, I can tell you exactly. Hutchins. Oh, sorry, I thought I had the date right in front of me. It is sorry, June 14th to 18th.
June 14th to 18th. Okay.
It'll be the last week of school, so it's gonna be a rough week.
Okay. So we'll move on to the Concord Point Concert Committee.
You skipped the parade.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
The biggest part of the day.
Biggest part of the day, but just skip me right like that. Okay, so I should say before we get into these committee reports that all of these events we're talking about coming up require approval by the City of Havre de Grace. So I have submitted our event applications for all of those items. They are currently going through the process at City Hall where all the departments evaluate them and evaluate costs and needs and things like that. At this point, they are scheduled to go up for approval at the next council meeting, which will be Monday, February the 7th, at which time, as part of our charter, we are expected to give a presentation about the events forthcoming. So that would be PowerPoint presentation, stand up and talk. I know I'll be there. I'm sure Christy will be there, although I forgot to give you that date till just now. But we would certainly love it if anybody else could be there. You can speak or even just to stand. And then it is expected that those events will be then approved by the council at that date. So we have 4 separate event applications that have been put forward, one for each event. One is for the Carnival specifically separate, and then one for the parade, one for the Concord Point concert, and one for the Hutchins Park concert. Okay, so February 7th, those should be approved. We can't advertise anything until that happens. So once that happens, we'll kind of make an announcement on our Facebook page and things like that.
Super.
So with that said, as far as the parade goes, in January is always when I start contacting the bands. So I have begun that process, sending out our information, sending out our date because our date changes. That's something a lot of the bands want to know and are curious about. It is not usual that many of them get back this early, but I already talked to John from the Ravens band, and they are super planning on being here. He hasn't heard of there any restrictions yet. He was very upset. They were very upset to not be able to play last year. They believe that all hands are ready to go for this year, but he hasn't committed yet, but I think it should be fine. And we did get back the White Sabres Drum and Bugle Corps coming from New York, who were excellent last year, have already agreed to return and are happy. So we already have 2 in solid, good bands, and we have a lot of leads on that. So that will continue over the next couple months.
Super. Concord Point concert.
Okay, so Concord Point concert, we are still waiting to hear back from the Maryland Military Band, but we expect that they will be coming back for the concert. Louis Fillinger has requested the Parks and Rec stage for us, the Showmobile stage. So we're waiting for that to be confirmed. Those are really the big pieces for that concert because then after that just becomes vendors. But as far as at this point in the stage, this is where this concert normally is. So we're on track with the Concord Point concert.
Okay. Hutchins Park. So the big little kicker in that, guys, if you didn't hear me earlier, is Taryn, who's always chaired that for the most recent years, has resigned. So we don't have a person in charge of that at this moment. So Taryn and I have kind of put our heads together and have done some work, and she can tell you about that.
Okay, so now I will say, as I could this, I am definitely not chairing the Hutchins Park Committee, but I can do all of the legwork getting things situated. But as we talked last year, I definitely need to be less on that so I can spend more time at Concord Point because we didn't really have anybody there. With that said, Christy and I have been looking at some options for bands for the Hutchins Park concert. The bands we had last year, More, and no, that who we had last year? Yeah, More, and Here's the Night are not available this year. So that was my first check, was with their management company to see if they were available. They are not. And so this is through Starley Entertainment. Starley Entertainment gave me a recommendation for another band that might be a good one. I'm going to send you all some links where you can look at these. We're not going to vote on this tonight or anything, just for informational purposes. But the one band is called It's All Good Band. And they're just kind of a standard. They kind of do a lot of different cover songs and things like that. He thought we could perhaps do them and perhaps another band, something like that. We also have so they're a definite possibility. He has not given us a budget for that yet, but said that it would be in line with what we paid for last year's band. At the same time, I reached out to another band, Love Seed Mama Jump from Dewey Beach down by the ocean. I don't know if any of you are familiar with them. Christy and I are, but and they are available. We thought they might be kind of a bigger name that would draw some people if people know them. They are interested and available to come, their price would be $4,000, which last year's bands cost, I think, over 5,000. So it's in range with our budget. But I had an idea to, last year we had 2 bands, because it's kind of nice when the gates open at 5. We had a band at like 5:30 to 7 and a band from like 7:30 to 9 or something like that. But of course, the cost is more. I did, however, reach out to DJ Russ and said, hey, Russ, would you be interested in playing at Hutchins Park from 5 to 6:30? He's interested, or if he's not, he can get somebody. So I kind of thought it might be a fun vibe to have the DJ when people are getting there from 5 to 6:30 and have the band play from 7 to 9 and the fireworks. How's that sound?
I'm impressed. Love to see Mama Junk. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. I mean, I know about them.
Okay, because I feel like it's a big deal, but I wasn't sure if it was just me. So do we feel like that's
Yeah.
a big deal?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, because I think they would be a cool draw, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I
if
think
know
they're
they
in
would.
support of that, they're waiting for me to say, yes, we want you, or no, we don't. So I said, we have a meeting. So I'm not always sure of my own reactions, if I'm like, yeah, that would be cool or not.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I
they're not
kinda
just
thought-
they're not just a local act.
No, they're not.
So I'm not familiar with them, but I can look them up after this meeting and give you an informed opinion.
Please do. Yes, we're looking for you, music girl. For sure.
I like them.
I think they're a good party vibe, which is what we want down there. And I explained, family friendly and all that. And instead of doing 2 bands, you can get like 2 lesser bands for the cost, or we could get 1 good band. And then that's why I was trying to fill that space with a DJ. I think that might be a nice vibe too, because people coming from the parade, they want music, but they really want to get food. They don't necessarily want to sit and watch something yet.
I agree. I like the idea of the DJ a lot. I think it's a great vibe.
Okay.
I have worked that event plenty in the past. Yeah, I see that smile on your face. It does setup would interfere with the parking duty.
We thought we could relieve you from the parking duty.
Okay. All
If
right.
you were interested in perhaps, and you wouldn't be on your own, but if you were interested in perhaps taking a more of a lead role.
Yeah, I would be. I would like the support because I haven't
Okay.
done it, and I don't want to mess it up. I love that. I love the Hutchins Park concert. I really do.
You fell right into our trap, Nikki. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as soon as you said it, like at the beginning of the meeting, I was like, oh, I know where this is going to end up.
Oh, darn. You can read us too well. Okay, so that's fine. We'll find another person to work with parking. And I do have somebody who also committed that they would be down there that whole event from the time it started. So like for a second name on your liquor license, and they feel like they could be down there and be whatever you needed them to be. So
Okay.
And they're a
And
reputable person.
yeah, it's Tyler Buck.
Oh,
So,
awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
Very, very awesome.
I twisted his arm on that. He didn't want to chair it, but he said, "Oh, but I'll be there from like 5 o'clock on." Yeah, sure. So I'll do whatever you need. So great, perfect. Well, whew, that's a relief. And then what else? We'll move on to vendor committee. It's not quite time, but soon I guess we'll have to start reaching out to the vendors. Mike, how are you feeling about that this year?
It's fine. I've actually had a couple call me in the last month, but I told them, hey, I said, relax, I'll get you. So
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I know me and Carolyn and Chrissy do the vendors. But Carolyn and I do the preliminary stuff, and then Chrissy is the executor. But I can help with the parking thing. I don't know what that is, but whatever we need relief, whatever. So
Okay.
You
Well, I mean-
hang out with Jason and jog down and park buses,
Well,
like
that's
tag
good.
team.
I like Jason. So
You'd have to, he's the executive bus parker. Like he's done it from the beginning. So he knows it. He could train you on it.
Yeah. Just bring water. It gets hot.
And Mike, we'll get working on those vendors soon, making sure we know how many we want, what we're looking for, making
we
sure that
might-
our communication's clear, and
Yeah, we might actually be able to get some vendors this year because last year it was some slim pickings.
Yeah, yeah,
But I would also say definitely the earlier the better because
Yep.
People are I know this with bands and vendor, they're all kind of booking their summers and planning. We have an
Mhm.
advantage because we're not on July 4th, but other people will be making their own little events and stuff too.
well, Mike, maybe we can get together maybe next week or the week after and kind of get a little better solid plan. Does that sound good?
Yeah, maybe like the first 2 weeks in February.
Yep. Mhm. We can do that. So, yep, I think that sounds good. Okay. Any old business or unfinished business? I don't have any listed. And any new business?
One thing, Christy, this might fall under new business. I can't remember if we talked about it before or not, but Beth Laverick Merchant had approached us about sponsoring for the Seafood Festival again this year.
Oh,
Seafood
yeah.
Festival. We had talked about doing that. I just had an email from her yesterday. She's going to go with a 1-day only festival.
Okay.
It's going to be September 24th with a rain date of the 25th. That is
Okay.
not, she's going to get ready to put her event application in to be approved by council and all, but that would be, I told her we were all for that and we would be her city sponsor for that. So that would probably require us on that day to do things like ID the line and perhaps work with parking at the museum, things like that. So more details on that. That's past 4th of July, but just wanted to let you know if you see that, if her events come up, that would have us listed as the Havre de Grace sponsor.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? Well, if there are no other concerns for new business, then I think our next meeting will be February 28th at 7:00, hopefully at the police department conference room. If not, we'll do another Zoom if it doesn't work for us. And can I get a motion to adjourn? Anybody? Okay, this meeting is adjourned.